We're paused.
No, I think that's working.
It says pause. But,
Yep, 7, 8, 9, open.
Okay, good deal. Right?
Let me stop it again.
I want to get a little bit closer. Okay.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Dissertation Weekly. With us in our studio is Dr. Webb. He is the author of So You Want to Do a Qualitative Dissertation, which is available on Amazon.com, as well as the CEO and
Founder
of a dissertation consulting business.
Mm-hmm. And your name is?
My name's Lance Gillette.
Okay, good. Hey, we're getting better at this every week, Lance.
Yes, sir. All right.
It's, I get emails saying that you two are got a lot of chemistry together.
There we go. So we've had a lot more emails.
Well, let me say it's a pleasure to be with you today, and I always enjoy being on the program here. And I noticed that you have a little upgrade in the studio this week,
and going to get used to that.
Someone told me last week's episode would have been better to have been titled "The Headless Researchers," because our heads were cut off in the video. But I see you got a nice new camera here this week and everything, and so we'll see if that upgrades things. Who knows? But it's the content that's important, and so we don't worry about all that other stuff.
There we go.
Okay.
Very good.
Got some questions for me?
So again, we have some questions, some write-ins. So if you would like to ask a couple of questions, make sure you send them in through YouTube there, and we will get right back to you. Okay. So the first.
What was the message? Did you have any particular theme that people were writing about this week?
This week is I think it was Dissertation Committees.
Dissertation Committees.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes. So we have a couple of questions here. Walter from Santa Fe, New Mexico, writes and says, Dr. Webb, I received your book as a birthday present last week.
Oh, nice.
I read it from cover to cover in one sitting. I loved every page. I am in the final semester of my coursework and will be starting my dissertation work next semester. Oh, very good. You write extensively about having a proper chemistry between the student and the chair. Could you give me some more specific advice about how to find a chair for my dissertation committee? This is a very good question.
Okay, yeah.
Something I was interested in.
So Walter read the book from cover to cover without stopping. He's a brave man, and he's got a lot of energy. I wish I had some of his energy to be able to do that. But yes, Walter, finding a dissertation chair is a very important part of the dissertation process. That can make you or break you. It can cause, problems, or it can be a wonderful experience. People told me when I was doing my dissertation that I had basically hit the lottery of dissertation committees because I had a fantastic chair and I had a fantastic methodologist, and so people were telling me, boy, you hit the lottery. So I'm very thankful for that. I learned a lot from both of those gentlemen. But I would just give the following advice. Try to get a chair. Someone whose class you've taken that you really enjoyed. You enjoyed their teaching method. You enjoyed the way they communicated. Try to find someone who is student friendly. Someone who's basically known to have a reputation of caring about students. Try to find someone whose personality is compatible with yours. Not somebody who you grate on on them or they grate on you. And then someone who is an expert in your field. Now, I realize you may not be able to fill all those plugs. So you may find somebody whose class you enjoyed, somebody who is student friendly, and somebody whose personality is compatible with you, but they're not an expert in your field. That's what happened to me. I found my chair, and he was great in the classroom, a good communicator, very student friendly. His personality was compatible with mine, but he was not an expert in my field. So at that point, you have to make a decision. Do you want to do what you want to do and then use a chair that's not necessarily student friendly, that's not necessarily someone that's compatible with you, or do you want to do what your chair does? And my chair was a community college expert, and specifically within the community college studies, his area was transfer students. So I made a decision that I don't have a background in that, I don't know anything about that, but I want this guy to be my chair, and so that's what I'm gonna do. And so I made it my business to start reading and learning about community college students and transfer students and transfer advisors and getting up to speed so I could have him as my chair. So I changed my topic and went with something he was an expert in. And there's something to be said for that too, because he was working in the field at the time. And like it or not, if you're doing something that's boring to your chair, you're not going to be at the front of the line. But if you're doing something he's interested in and he's passionate about, oh, you're going to get a lot of attention, and that's always helpful in doing a dissertation. So those are my ideas on finding a chair. So best of luck to you, Walter, and write us back and let us know how that works out, please.
All right, very good. All right, so next we have a message from Ricardo from Miami, Florida. Ricardo writes, Dr. Webb, I have truly enjoyed watching your appearances in Dissertation Weekly. You and Lance do an excellent job of making students feel good about doing a dissertation. That's what they're here for.
Absolutely.
Yes. When I watch you on the show and read the material in your book, I walk away encouraged. I receive confidence and feel like I can accomplish this task and realize my dreams of becoming a doctor. I am presently assembling my dissertation committee and would like to ask your opinion about what type of professors I should try to get on my committee.
Well, you know what Ricardo says there makes it all worthwhile.
Yes, sir.
Just helping students feel good about themselves, helping students believe in themselves and believe in the process, and I think that's 90% of it, is knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, but knowing that you can do it. And so if we can make people feel good about that process, that is excellent. Ricardo, there are 5 people on your committee. One is your chair, and we've just talked about that in response to Walter's question. If you pick a good chair, that's where that's the most important thing. Then you have a methodologist, and that's somebody who works with you on setting up your research design and making sure data collection procedures, data analysis, and how you collect your data and analyze it goes smoothly. Then you usually have somebody on there who has an editing focus. That they make sure everything is APA compatible, or whatever your style manual is required for your university. They make sure that that your grammar is appropriate and you're not, and they make sure that you're using academic words like you're not using words like tweak and things of that nature. That's an inside joke. Yeah, instead of saying tweak it, we're going to adjust it, or we're going to assimilate it. They usually have an editing person that goes through stuff like that. Then they have an expert, a literature review expert. And that's their responsibility, to make sure you've covered all the literature that you need to cover, and there's no missing out, and that the literature you've read is actually appropriate literature. And then they usually have some kind of outside, not always, but an outside participant. So, having said that, traditionally, you allow your chair to pick the other 4 members. That's the way it's been done for many, many, many years. And it usually works well because your chair usually has 4 people, 3 or 4 people that he or she works very well with. And so they know each other, they work together well, and so they make a good team. So you're better off served to let your chair select the members of your committee. However, one reason you can do that, they work well together, but you also avoid something that can kill you, and that is getting 2 people on the committee that don't like each other or that are at odds with each other. And I know my methodologist, when he did his dissertation, there were two people on his committee that hated each other, and he had to just go back, stop in the middle, and reform another committee. Because both of them refused to sign if the dissertation if the other guy signed it. He said, if he signs it, I'm not. So anyway, so when you let your chair take care of that, you avoid that. But I would politely ask the chair to let you know who he has selected before they are finally approved. And the reason I do that is because every now and then you have the outside possibility that there may be someone on the committee who you have a history with, and that you may have a personality conflict with them. They may have been your professor at one time and you had a slight issue with them, and you may not want them on your committee. You may also have somebody whose personality just doesn't jive with yours. And then finally, and this is what you want to always avoid, you may have somebody who is methodologically opposed to the type of research you want to do. For example, if you want to do a qualitative dissertation, there are people out there who do not like qualitative research, and you don't want someone like that on your committee. Likewise, if you want to do a quantitative dissertation, there are people out there that do not like quantitative research, so you don't want one of those guys. So that's why you want to politely ask, let him do it, but give you a veto over certain ones, or at least be able to dialogue with him before you put the final stamp of approval on that.
Very good. You answered that very well.
Well, thank you.
All right. Final question.
Okay.
Came from Dr. Eric Seymour from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
City. All right, Dr. Webb, I am so glad that I discovered your book and on how to do a qualitative dissertation. I'm using it as a required text in all of my dissertation classes. I think that's a common theme here lately. You have truly demystified the process of writing a dissertation and given students a shot of confidence which motivates them to work with exuberance. I certainly hope there will be a forthcoming book from you on how to do a qualitative dissertation and how to do a mixed methods dissertation. Do you have any advice for chairs of dissertations concerning how they can better serve their students?
Wow, Dr. Seymour from Chicago, Illinois. That is high praise, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Thank you for watching the program.
Yes, thank you. What can I say to chairs? Boy, I've never really I've thought about it a lot of times, but you couldn't say it in mixed company. But what advice would I give to a chair? Well, first of all, let me just kind of list the primary complaints that students make about chairs, and I've heard this on many occasions. First, he does not have enough time for me. Secondly, it is not clear about what I am supposed to be doing. He's not telling me what I need to do. A third complaint I hear is he does not respond to my emails in a timely fashion, or he does not return my phone calls. And then a fourth complaint that you hear about chairs a lot is that he or she does not provide valuable feedback to the documents that I send to them. Okay. So, Dr. Seymour, in any professor who's chairing dissertations, my book that I've written, there's a section in there on how a chair should function within the committee with respect to the student. And I probably need to enlarge upon that in the future. But I would say you need to train your students. We all need to be trained, but as a dissertation chair, you need to train your dissertation students so that they know what is expected of them, and so that they will know what to expect from you. I tell students, for example, to send an email to their chair once a month. You know that from personal experience, and let the chair know what you've been doing for the last month. Otherwise, they don't know where you are. They don't know what you're doing.
And they don't think about it.
And they don't, and you go to the bottom of the list real quick. But if at the end of each month, you send the chair and you just say, hey, This is Lance, and I've been doing this, and this during this month, and I just wanted to give you an update, and I'll talk to you next month. That right there just tells the chair, you know, okay, this is a good student, he's keeping me updated, but he's not complaining or whining or crying, or, you know, he's not upset because I'm not returning every email that he writes me within, 24 seconds. Or he's sending me a document that's 48 pages, and it was the same document he sent me last month that was 46 pages, but he's added 2 pages to it. And now he's expecting me to read all 48, and see, that's the chair's side of that. So you train your students to know, don't do that. That's not the way you deal with the chair. And then I would say also, and this goes to chairs, faculty members, we have a problem in American doctoral education. More and more students are coming into the dissertation process. How do I put this? Without a proper understanding of what they need to do and how they need to go about doing it. Maybe I should soften that and say not a complete understanding. I see it a lot of the times. I see a lot of students who will come into my office, they'll come into my class, and they will just be at a loss. And so this problem is what prompted me to start the Dissertation Consulting Service back in January of 2016. Students don't know what they need to know, and I don't have the answer to that. I don't want to throw all methodologists under the bus because they're not teaching them how to do research. I can say that some aren't. I don't want to throw content professors under the bus because they're not teaching them how to find a dissertation topic, or because they're not teaching them how to do a lit review and things like that. Some are, but many are not. So a lot of students are coming out of the 3 years of coursework and not having a clue about how to do research and how to get started. So that prompted me to start the Dissertation Consulting Service in January of 2016. And as I looked at the landscape of dissertation consulting at the time, I noticed that there were a lot of people out there, and some of the things they were offering were, man, it was just like almost upscale con men. And some of the prices they were charging were outrageous for what they were doing. And so I saw a real need in the marketplace to have a service that was affordable, that would take a student through the dissertation process step by step and show them what they need to know in order to accomplish a dissertation that is valuable and that is worthwhile. I also have written the book, and the service is very valuable for those who are chairs. Chairs run into all types of students, but there are 2 in particular. There's one is the student that doesn't know what to do, and the other one is the student that doesn't know how to behave. And those are both problem students that chairs run into, and that's the one that if he doesn't get a response within 24 hours, he's sending off a fire-breathing letter to the provost about how horrible his chair is. And the other one is the student that works hard but just doesn't have a background. And they sit there for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they don't know how to write a problem statement, they don't know how to develop research questions, and so you have the ones that are constantly nagging the chair, show me how to do this, show me how to do this, show me how to do this. And then you have the one that's sitting back at home praying and meditating and hoping that the knowledge will come down through the ceiling or something, or that some magic genie will appear and show him how to do these things, because they're too ashamed to go to the chair or to the members of the committee. And so those are the 2 types of students that we specialize in the dissertation consulting service. And there's there's a lady who has been sending me clients for 2 years now. And she sends me the problem children. She refers to them as the problem children. And they're the ones that are, you know, don't know how to do what they need to do, and they're the ones that are just the real naggers. And so we've had a lot of success. She told me, I talked to her about a month ago, she said, do you realize that you are saving me 20 hours a month, conservatively? Not to mention, you can't put a price on the stress of having students yelling and screaming, or having students ripping off fire-breathing emails to the provost complaining about me. She said, I haven't been out to dinner with my husband in 7 years, and now we go out 2 or 3 times a month because we have that kind of time. And she said also that rarely ever, you know, I don't have students coming in that don't know what to do anymore. The ones that have gone through your service, they know how to write a research question. They know how to develop interview questions. They know how to collect data. They know how to analyze data. And so the service, I'm very thankful. The service is able to help students at an affordable price, but it's also able to help chairs and faculty members and colleagues of mine. So, Dr. Seymour, thank you so much for reading my book, for appreciating our service. We do try to demystify the process and to simplify the code that students need to know. So, thank you very much. I look forward to being back with you again
Yes,
before too long, Lance.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time. Thank
All
you.
right.